All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today we are diving into one of the most exciting and, yeah, let's be real, kind of nerve-wracking times in life, the first trimester of pregnancy. Think of this as your personal guide to conquering those super important first prenatal checkups.
So, first things first, let's get one thing straight. This is not just a bunch of boring clinical appointments. I want you to picture it more like an adventure, right? It's your own personal prenatal gauntlet. With different levels you get to clear, each checkup is a huge milestone, and every single one brings you that much closer to meeting your baby. It's a challenge, for sure, but it's an incredibly empowering one.
Okay, so let's jump right in. Your whole journey really kicks off right here, in these first few weeks that are just packed with excitement and, a few totally normal anxieties. This is where we lay all the groundwork.
So before you even hit that 12-week mark, there are a few little quests you've got to tackle. First up, you'll confirm the pregnancy and get to see that amazing flickering little fetal heartbeat. Then you'll get some initial blood work done for both parents. You'll also need to do the official pregnancy registration, which is called the Shengyu Dengji Zhengming. And finally, you'll book your first major checkpoint, the NT scan.
And all of that gets you to Level 1, the NT scan. This is really the first critical hurdle in the whole prenatal gauntlet, and it gives us the first really detailed look at how your baby's developing. So, what in the world is an NT scan? Well, NT stands for neutral translucency. Neutral is just a fancy word for the back of the neck. Basically, it's an ultrasound where a technician very carefully measures a tiny, clear, fluid-filled space. It's pretty incredible, right? How much they can tell from this one little measurement.
Okay, and this is so important. The timing here, it's everything. It is absolutely non-negotiable. This scan can only be done between week 11 and week 13 plus 6 days. And why is it so strict? Well, it's because that little translucent layer is only there for a very short time. If you go too early, it hasn't formed yet. Too late, and it's already been naturally absorbed. This isn't a suggestion, it's a biological deadline.
And trust me, because that window is ridiculously tight, these appointments get booked up fast. So please, take this real-world advice to heart. The second you see that fetal heartbeat, get on the phone and book your NT scan. Do not put it off.
So after all that buildup, all that stress about timing, it really boils down to one magic number, 2.5 millimeters. If that little fluid space measures less than 2.5 millimeters, it's a strong indicator of a lower risk for certain chromosomal issues, like Down syndrome. For most parents, seeing a number under this mark is the first huge sigh of relief on their pregnancy journey. Okay, so you've cleared the NT scan. High five. But now you're at a fork in the road. It's time to choose your path for the next round of genetic screening. So what are your options? Well, the path kind of splits into three main choices here. Tang sifting, NIPT, which stands for non-invasive prenatal testing, and amniocentesis. Each one has its own trade-offs when it comes to accuracy, risk, and of course cost, so understanding them is really key. Let's break these down, okay? First, you've got Tang sifting. Think of this as a more traditional screening. It's a blood test that looks at hormones to calculate risk, and it's about 70 to 90% accurate with zero risk. Then there's NIPT. This one's a real game changer. It's also just a simple blood test, but it directly analyzes tiny bits of the baby's DNA that are in your blood. It's over 99% accurate and, again, zero risk. And finally, there's amniocentesis. Now, this one's different. It's a diagnostic test, not just a screening. It gives you a 100% accurate answer, but it's an invasive procedure that carries a very small, around 1%, risk of miscarriage. So you're really balancing accuracy against invasiveness. Of course, cost is a factor for a lot of us, right? So Tang sifting, that's often free or super low cost, sometimes covered by public health. NIPT, on the other hand, is probably going to be an out-of-pocket expense. A standard test is around 1,500 RMB, while a more comprehensive plus version can be about 2,300 RMB. All right, once you're through all that first trimester screening, the road ahead starts to look a lot clearer. So let's zoom out for a sec and see what's coming up next on the journey. So you've already crushed level 1, the NT scan. Awesome. Next up, between 20 and 24 weeks, is the big one, the detailed anomaly scan. This is sometimes called the .pi-G, and it checks out the baby's anatomy from head to tiny toes. After that, between 24 and 28 weeks, comes the glucose tolerance test to check for gestational diabetes. And then finally, in the later stages, you'll have more routine scans just to keep an eye on the baby's growth. Okay, so you've got the map. Now you need the survival guide, right? Here are some pro tips to help you get through all this with way less stress, I promise. Okay, first up, you're going to hear this term a lot, jandong. It might sound complicated, but it literally just means to create a file. This is the big moment when the hospital officially creates your prenatal medical record, and that file is going to follow you for your entire pregnancy. They usually try to do this on the same day as your NT scan to make things easier. Look, to make that Jiandang Day a total breeze, you just need to be prepared. Seriously, it'll save you so much hassle. You'll need all your early blood work results, and hey, don't forget, that means for both parents. Bring your NT scan report, your official pregnancy registration document, and of course, your personal IDs. Having all this stuff ready to go is a game changer. Okay, now for a fantastic little insider tip, a real trick of the trade for any of your big ultrasound scans. Sometimes the baby is just snoozing or in a weird position, and it makes it really tough for the technician to get the measurements they need. Having a little snack or a sugary drink right before your appointment can often get the baby to wiggle around into a better spot. It's such a simple little hack, but trust me, it can make a world of difference. And finally, let's talk supplements. As you head out of that first trimester, what your body needs starts to change a bit. You've probably been on folic acid for a while, so you'll continue that. But now's a great time to chat with your doctor about adding things like DHA for the baby's brain, calcium for their bones, and eventually some iron to help prevent anemia. And breathe. That is the first trimester gauntlet. It's a whole whirlwind of tests and timing and big decisions. But you see, it's so much more than just a clinical process, isn't it? It's the very beginning of an incredible story. Every milestone you pass isn't just a box you're taking off, it's the foundation of a brand new life. You've cleared level 1. Now the real adventure begins.